Hello. It is me, your True Heel Phenom, SP3. We are live on the Tru Heel Heat Sports YouTube channel and Tru Heel Heat Facebook page for another edition of Tru Heel Heat Check, where we talk about all things NBA basketball. Usually, we would be doing these every other Friday, so we would skip this past Friday and then come with you with a new edition this coming Friday. But we had the NBA trade deadline, and in my opinion, the craziest, the biggest, the most unexpected trade deadline in NBA history just went down. You also had an historic moment last week. We did a watch along right here on the Tru Heel Heat Sports YouTube channel for LeBron James making history, breaking the scoring record. We had Kyrie Irving nuking the Brooklyn Nets. So I know my esteemed colleague, my co-host, is very excited to talk about that. So let's bring him in. You know him from NX3 over on the Tru Heel Heat Wrestling YouTube channel, from the Twitch page every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time with Blunt Impact. He is the resident marijuana enthusiast and the resident New York Knicks fan here on Tru Heel Heat Check. It's Chris G. Chris G is here. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, bro? Lot to get into. Crazy trade deadline we had.
Indeed. Of course, anyone watching, share with your friends and subscribe if you are new to the Tru Heel Heat Sports YouTube channel. Last week, we hit 300 subscribers here on the page, so we're very excited for all the growth that has happened in the past, what has it been, 8 months of this channel, and we are looking to grow even more in this new year and talk about some NBA basketball with all y'all every other week, but we had to do a special edition, Chris G, because the NBA trade deadline was the craziest in history. As I said to start the show, there's a lot to get into, so remember to drop the thumbs up on the video, share with your friends, and of course sound off in the live chat. We're going to highlight as many of your comments as possible. We got Derby Entertainment saying Danny Green, the Cavs. Yeah, that was the report earlier today. I believe Woj just put it up on his Twitter page that Danny Green is a favorite to go to the Cleveland Cavaliers, or possibly he has other options that he can go to. Sophie's here. The star of the show. The next generation is here.
Trying to keep her entertained because she's going through it right now.
Don't worry. I had to, stop from producing Serving Face and Heels earlier because my daughter decided to get some carpet cleaner out of nowhere and spill it all over the place.
Harlem always up to no good.
Always. Sydney's just sitting there like, I don't know what's going on.
What she's doing.
That's her doing her thing. We got Armand in the chat saying, what's up to you, Armand? Thank you for joining us. Kid Get Money is here. Kid Get Money, what's going on? Saying, I wish the Magic didn't trade Mo Bamba to the Lakers. We had to restock because we traded Thomas Bryant, so it was a good trade for us. Y'all got Patrick Beverly. He's going to root y'all on to get in the number 1 draft pick. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about for him.
He's just trying to help. He's just trying to help.
He's just trying to help everybody out. But yes, let's get into a couple of these major trades. And the whole trade deadline literally kicked off a few minutes after we ended Tru Heel Heat Check number 1, Chris G, because that was when the report came out that Kyrie Irving was once again demanding a trade by the trade deadline and saying that he wanted to leave the Nets. He did not want to be there anymore. So then a few days later, the trade went down. That started the domino effect. Kyrie Irving traded to the Dallas Mavericks from the Nets. The Mavericks got Kyrie Irving, Markieff Morris, Spencer Dinwiddie, and Dorian Finney-Smith went to the Nets, and they got a 2 second-round picks as well as a 2029 first-round pick. As I'm saying that, and as I talked about Harlem, as Hero riding in the background, you talk about this trade with Sophie, and I'll be right back, sir.
Well, yeah, it's right after our first episode. We get the we get the news that Kyrie Irving wanted to be traded. It's crazy because I don't think anybody had the Mavericks on the top of the list of teams that Kyrie would get traded to. I guess everybody assumed that he would be like a Laker or a Clipper, one of the LA teams. I myself, I just want to say I was right in the beginning of the season when I said that the Nets had three options. They were going to take three paths. They were either going to be really good, they were either going to fire Steve Nash early and turn it around, or they were going to fire Steve Nash and completely blow up the team. And that's exactly what happened at the trade deadline. When Kyrie got traded to the Mavericks, I don't know if that's the greatest trade for the Nets. I mean, Dorian Finney-Smith and Spencer Dinwiddie, you're not really getting extreme prime talent. Dinwiddie, I think, is at his prime. If not, he's going to start. He's peaking now. He's going to start declining soon, I think. And Dorian Finney-Smith still got potential, but I mean, he's talking about a Kyrie Irving, a top 5, top 3 point guard in the league when he's playing. So I don't know if they necessarily got the return that they wanted for him. But it was a good trade for the Nets to get Kyrie out of there. They don't want to deal with his shit anymore. It was a good trade for Kyrie. He obviously doesn't want to be in Brooklyn no more. He doesn't want to be with the franchise. So it's a win-win. I think the Nets could have got a better offer from another team and maybe more pieces, but
they should have took the Lakers trade. 2 is better than 1. If they're trying to get draft picks, they have a very unbalanced roster anyway. And this is the point I tried to make on FMC as well, was the Laker trade. At least if you're gonna trade Kyrie Irving, the Nets should have been under the understanding there was no possible way to salvage this with Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is only with the Nets because Kyrie basically talked him into going to the Nets. So it made no sense to they said, oh, we're trying to salvage things. That's why we didn't take the Laker trade. No, it was a personal vendetta from Joe Tsai against not wanting to send Kyrie where he wanted to go. He was ready and willing to send KD where he wanted to go, but not Kyrie because of all the drama that has transpired with him.
Yeah, which I mean is understandable, but it feels like Joe Tsai is not the greatest owner. Like when you get in reports, conflicting reports from multiple talented players that are just basically saying the same thing. We don't want to get too inside, but it was a toxic situation. We all kind of had to leave. It tells you a lot about the ownership and who's running things over there. So, I mean, I'm kind of happy for Kyrie that he got out of there. I like Kyrie as a person. Kind of don't like him as a ball player because he's a little unreliable, but he is one of the most talented players I've ever seen in my life. So, I mean, it's like you kind of want to root for the guy. Then sometimes you don't. It's a weird, very complicated situation with Kyrie.
But him going to the Dallas Mavericks, the Mavericks now have one of the best backcourts in all of the NBA with Kyrie. Like you said, he's one of the most talented guys, especially his ball handling skills. I think it's him and Allen Iverson, like the best ball handlers of all time. And I don't say that lightly. It is very much true. Like the way he can dribble the ball, get to the basket, he is very talented in doing that. He's a great scorer as well, and he can be a facilitator when he wants to, and a great shooter. And he is clutch, as we've seen in Game 7 of the 2016 NBA Finals. So putting him with Luka Doncic, when Luka Doncic was basically playing a lot of times 1-on-5, he would ISO and dish it out to shooters or dish it out to the big man down low. But he needed another scorer, and now he's got it. So Dallas actually looks like it's going to have, it's on the up, especially with Luka out right now. At least they have Kyrie.
Yeah, I mean it's a good contingency plan to have just in case Luka goes down, which he's out right now. But you're also talking about taking a lot of pressure off a guy that, I mean, he kind of wants the pressure, right? Luka, like, it feels like Luka wants to be that guy. He don't mind it, but let's face it, he needs help. He knows he needs help. Kyrie, I think, is the perfect help for him. I think they should have went after a big man too, but I mean, shit, you can't go wrong with that duo in your front court.
No, you can't go wrong at all. But I guess the Mavericks were like the big winner of the trade deadline. for all of 3 or 4 days, because let's talk about the big headline that we had here in our title for Tru Heel Heat Check. Like I said, we had to talk about that first domino dropping, Kyrie asking for the trade, him going to the Dallas Mavericks. And like I said, there was no way for Joe Tsai and the Brooklyn Nets to salvage that after you get the guy, you lose the guy that talked the other guy into getting here. He's not going to want to stay, especially after the offseason when he said, I don't think this roster is good enough for me to win. That was with Kyrie. He said that. And now without Kyrie, he's definitely not going to stay. So then it happened on Thursday. The news dropped, I think around like the evening time in Phoenix, but Kevin Durant traded to the Phoenix Suns. The Suns get Kevin Durant and TJ Warren, while the Nets get back Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Jay Crowder, and four unprotected first round picks 2023, 2025, 2027, and 2029, as well as a pick swap in 2028. So that's basically 5 picks that they're getting in exchange for Kevin Durant going to the Phoenix Suns. This is a unbelievable trade. And to go back to your point, I don't want to kill the lead like Romeo saying I am. The lead is Joe Tsai is the worst owner in all of the NBA. He took the 2 most possible worst trades he could have took for Kyrie and for KD, because how do you trade with the Suns and you don't get DeAndre Ayton, who everybody was talking about was on the market and they probably weren't going to keep or didn't want to keep? How do you not include him in the trade?
That was the first guy I would have asked for, honestly, if I'm trading KD and I'm trying to get anybody from the Suns. Ayton's the first guy I'm going after. They're not trading Booker. They're not trading Chris Paul. Ayton doesn't want to be there. Fuck it. Just shoot your shot. Try to go after DeAndre Ayton. I will say I do like their return better than the Mavericks' return. I think Cam Johnson's good. I think he has a lot of potential. Mikal Bridges is good. He's a proven player already. And he only has room to grow. He's only like 25 years old. I mean, I wouldn't call him a superstar, but he's a great building block to have. And then 4 first round picks, basically 5. I mean, with a pick swap, that's big. I mean, that's remortgaging your future. You're getting your future back after you made these terrible trades and gave up your fucking first round picks for the last like 15 years. To get something back like that, I think that was the best. That was probably the best case scenario for them. I don't think they would have got a return anywhere else if they would have traded KD.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is, as far as like the draft picks, maybe was the best deal that they could have gotten from the Suns, but I don't think it was the best deal they could have got overall for 2 of their star players. I don't think the deal that they made for James Harden was that good, as we've seen with Ben Simmons this year. He's barely played or played effectively barely. So yeah, the Nets are a dumpster fire. I honestly I have up our mid-season picks, and I want to change it because we both had the Suns as a 10 seed, and now it looks like the Suns are going to be in the top half of the West for sure, with this big 4 that they have with Chris Paul, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and DeAndre Ayton. They seem like they are going to be the team that challenges the Nuggets for a shot at the NBA Finals. And our pick of the Warriors is not looking very good after the trade deadline. But just talking about the Suns itself, they're looking much better than what we predicted with the mean season. I'm going to check on her one more time. I'll be right back. You talk to the people.
Go ahead while I try to control my kid from crying too. This is what we do here on Tru Heel Heat Check. We're trying to take the temperatures of the people at home and the temperatures of our children at the same time. The KD trade, definitely the better package of the 2. I think Sophie would agree. I just told her stop it in my dad's tone, but it's not working. How about Josh Hart to the Knicks? Can we talk about that? Let's talk about Josh. I want to see what SP3 has to say about Josh Hart to the Knicks. Hey, look at this is what happens when you have tired children. You got daddy duty. She smells like shit, so I'm pretty sure she shit herself. I'm not a negligent parent. I'm just waiting for SP3 to come back so I can change it. I got you, too. This is crazy. Sorry, everybody. I apologize.
This is the riveting stuff we do on True Heel Parenting. Yes, indeed. True Heel Parenting at its best here. But yeah, the Phoenix Suns are looking like the favorite in the West. Let's talk about some other trades and another team in the West. You know, the team I love to talk about, my Los Angeles Lakers. They made a huge deal themselves during the trade deadline week. They finally got rid of Russell Westbrook. We finally traded Russell Westbrook. It was a three-team trade, a blockbuster three-team trade of them trading Russell Westbrook to the Utah Jazz, and it was involving the Utah Jazz and the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Lakers got in exchange for Russell Westbrook and their 2029 draft first round pick. They got D'Angelo Russell, Jarrett Vanderbilt, and Malik Beasley, while the Utah Jazz, they got Russell Westbrook, Damian Jones, Juan Toscano Anderson, and the Lakers 2027 pick. Sorry about that, not 2029. We actually kept that pick. Rob Pelinka coming through, the 2027 first round pick, protected top 4 pick, actually. So got some protection on it. So if there's another Victor Wembanyama in 2027, we at least get to keep them. The Timberwolves got Mike Conley Jr., Nicola Alexander Walker, and the 2024, 2025, and 2026 second round picks. I believe those are from a mixture of Utah's and the Lakers there. So some good hold for the Lakers, but that wasn't the only deal that they made during the week, as our good friend Kid Get Money alluded to in the live chat. We also got made the trade to get rid of Thomas Bryant, which I was very confused on, I will say. I was very confused when they said the Lakers traded Thomas Bryant to the Nuggets. We got Davion Reed and 3 second round picks. So we're kind of replenishing on second round picks with that deal there. And then we made a bigger deal, which I was very happy about, trading Patrick Beverly for Mo Bamba from the Orlando Magic. The Orlando Magic getting Patrick Beverly, and we get Mo Bamba. So we get kind of an upgrade, in my opinion, from what we had with Thomas Bryant getting Mo Bamba in exchange. So it was a good trade deadline week for my Los Angeles Lakers. Yes, indeed. I was very happy to see all the deals that we made in shuffling our roster. And now we have a much better roster that is more suitable for having LeBron James and Anthony Davis. We have the players around them that can, shoot the ball. Mo Bamba's 50 and 40. I didn't even know that before. D'Angelo Russell looked really good in his second stick debut. And we got some breaking news in the chat here from Romeo. He says, breaking news, Zion Williamson sidelined since January 2nd with a hamstring strain, re-aggravated the injury and expected to miss additional weeks after All-Star break. David Griffin says so. Not looking good for the Pelicans, who have been struggling as of late, the last month or so, with their they had a 10-game losing streak at one point, and yeah, that's not good news at all. And the fans voted for Zion Williamson to start in the All-Star game, and that hasn't looked good on the fans, because should have put Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis deserved to start in the All-Star game with how he played before his injury there. But talk about some other deals. I would say out of those, the couple of teams that we just said, Dallas, Phoenix, Los Angeles Lakers, those are kind of the 3 big winners of this trade deadline, in my opinion. There are also some other winners who made some good deals as well. I saw Romeo in the chat bringing it up earlier. He says, let's not bury the lead. Josh Hart to the Knicks. Yes, Josh Hart, it got traded to the New York Knicks from the Portland Trailblazers. The Portland Trailblazers got a haul in exchange for that. They got a 2023 first round pick, lottery protected. They also got Ryan Argincano Siva Mishashukin, and Cam Reddish. So they got a couple of players and some draft capital in exchange for Josh Hart. I think that was a good move by the New York Knicks in fleshing out their roster, getting an additional player who can play rotation minutes for them, and probably Josh Hart coming off the bench. So it strengthens your guys' bench indeed, Chris G, as I see him setting back up, sitting back down. But yeah, Josh Hart to the Knicks, I thought that was a good move for the New York team.
Josh Hart is one of those guys that are they're like Alex Caruso. They do all the little things that the stats necessarily don't show. They make a team better just by how they play, their energy, and I like Josh Hart. I like Josh Hart since he was on the Lakers, so I'm glad to see him as a Knick. He got chemistry with Brunson already. So hopefully they could build upon that. Hopefully he can contribute and help give us a little depth.
Indeed, we got Kid Get Money asking who's supposed to play defense in Dallas. I mean, losing Dorian Finney-Smith, who is their best defensive player, I didn't think that was the wisest move in this trade, and that's why I said once again this wasn't the best trade for both sides, in my opinion. Especially when you looked at all the other options for Kyrie. I would have said the Phoenix Sun trade that included Chris Paul. That was definitely a better trade than this one, in my opinion. Getting 2 first-round picks from the Lakers is a better trade than this one. But hey, they're going to score a lot of points. They're probably going to give up a lot of points, but hopefully they score more than they give up in Dallas, and they'll be good. But I think that's why more people are higher on the Phoenix Suns trade with KD than they are with Kyrie to Dallas.
I don't think I don't think you need to worry about defense if you score 150 points a game.
Exactly, and you're gonna get like 50 from Luka. You can get like 30 or 40 from Kyrie. The rest of the team just add everything else. We had a couple of other trades, some smaller trades that went down. You had Jakob Poeltl going to the Toronto Raptors. The Spurs got Kem Birch and a 2024 first round pick, as well as 2 second round picks. You also had Celtics got Mike Muscala, while they traded to the OKC Thunder Justin Jackson and 2 second round picks. These for the Celtics, I think that they made smaller trades to kind of flesh out their roster a little bit more, just help them out as they make that playoff push. You also talking about another team that's making that playoff push, the Milwaukee Bucks. I think they made a huge move. I would say the Milwaukee Bucks had a better trade deadline than the leader of the Eastern Conference right now, the Celtics, with Milwaukee trading to get Jay Crowder from the Nets. The Nets got 2 second round picks. It was a 3-team trade that also included the Indiana Pacers, who got George Hill, Serge Ibaka, and Jordan Nwora, and 3 second round picks. So the Pacers got a bunch of draft capital, as well as some key players who can play some rotation minutes as they try to make a push for the play-in. Talking about other teams in that top half of the East, the Philadelphia 76ers were a part of another 3-team trade, and they finally got rid of Matisse Thybulle, kind of the anchor on their offense in Philadelphia, because he is a non-offensive player. He's a really good defensive player, but he has no type of offense. He got loaded off to Portland. Portland got in the trade, as well as the Charlotte Hornets. Charlotte Hornets got Sev McLala, who is a part of the previous trade that we talked about, and a couple of second round picks, while the Philadelphia 76ers got Jalen McDaniels, and then other multiple team trades. The big one that a lot of people are probably going to be talking about the rest of this week was the 4-team trade that included Sadiq Bey going to the Atlanta Hawks. The Pistons got James Wiseman from the Golden State Warriors, and the Golden State Warriors got Gary Payton II, who was on their team before, and all they had to do was pay. Now they got him back, and Portland Trailblazers were a part of that trade. They got 5 second round picks from the 3 other teams. But this whole trade seems to be breaking down because apparently Gary Payton II has a key injury that is basically the Golden State Warriors are now trying to appeal this trade because Portland Trailblazers did not tell them about his health and his injury. So they are supposed to get some type of, I guess, one of their second round picks back in this trade. It's very confusing. They loaded off James Wiseman's contract, so I think that was the key for them. They just didn't want James Wiseman under the books anymore, and they wanted to get rid of him. But getting Gary Payton II, who you already had, I mean, I would say of the teams that did make deals, the Golden State Warriors and the Los Angeles Clippers are the two teams that I was very confused on everything they did in this trade deadline. You with
They
the
traded a
Clippers.
lot of big pieces. Like they traded Luke Kennard. They let go of Reggie Jackson. Like guys that I thought were key pieces of the rotation. They're all gone now.
And with the Clippers, their whole thing with the trade deadline was that they wanted to get a point guard. They wanted to get a point guard for their rotation. Basically, all season long, they've been playing five wings. They wanted a big man and they wanted a point guard in their rotation. They got Bones Highland, who plays no type of defense apparently. And they went on. They got off 2 second-round picks, but the way Bones Highland plays, he's more of a two guard than a point guard. So they still didn't address that. Like you said, they loaded off Reggie Jackson. They loaded off John Wall to the Houston Rockets, but they didn't get any point guards. And I know they're a favorite in a lot of people's eyes to get Russell Westbrook, but now the report came out that Russell Westbrook might possibly have other inquiries from Miami Heat, Chicago Bulls. What do you think? Do you think Russell Westbrook goes to the Clippers, or do you think he goes to one of those other teams?
Nah, I think he goes to the Clippers. I mean, he's already in LA. He doesn't really have to move much around. He's an LA guy. I mean, it kind of just makes sense to stay home and go play with somebody that you already played with in PG. And I mean, a good talent in Kawhi when he's healthy. You know, I think he can contribute most to that team than any other team. Maybe not the Bulls, but I don't see the Bulls being, fucking contenders. So there's not really any point in going to the Bulls. I would go to the Clippers if I was him. They have a much better chance of winning.
Yeah, and him going to Miami would just be Miami admitting that Kyle Lowry is done. He is cooked. He is cooked and donezo if Russ goes to the Miami Heat. But going back to the Clippers, they did get Mason Plumlee from the trade for Reggie Jackson with the Charlotte Hornets. They also did get Eric Gordon and 3 second-round picks, a part of a 3-team trade. The Rockets in exchange got Danny Green, but they have already bought him out of his contract. They got John Wall, which they are apparently going to buy out his contract as well, and they got a first-round pick swap with the Clippers, and the Grizzlies got Luke Kennard from the Clippers. So yeah, I mean, I don't like a lot of these moves for the Clippers. I know in retrospect, if they do get Russell Westbrook, we can say they had a good trade deadline, but a lot of these moves don't make sense for them.
I feel like they got faster. That's about it though. Like their pace of play is going to be a little better, which might, fit into their system a little bit more, but they lost some key guys, in my opinion, or guys that I thought were key parts of the rotation. So, even John Wall's little 12, 13 points off the bench helps. He brings energy to the team. So to just send him off to the Rockets because they didn't feel like he was going to be a good fit, or they think they're going to get a better point guard. I mean, it's just weird. A couple weird moves.
Yeah. That's why I said them and the Golden State Warriors, especially the Warriors, just getting a player that they could have re-signed
and
trading Payton second, and
trading a kid with potential.
It doesn't make a lot of sense to both of those teams. Those are the teams that are the big losers. Going back to the Phoenix Suns, they also got Darius Bazley from the OKC Thunder. They traded that with Dario Saric and a second round pick. So I would say, like, if we had to do a top 3 for each in with these trade deadlines, I believe that's all the trades that went down here. I'm trying to check one more time if I missed anything. Oh, I missed Dwayne Dedman to the Spurs and a 2028 second round pick for cash from the Miami Heat, and Kessler Edwards and cash going to the Kings in exchange for the Nets getting David Michonneau. So yeah, I mean, those are kind of smaller trades that don't really matter. The real ones that matter and the big winners, in my opinion, I would say first is, of course, the Phoenix Suns, because they getting Kevin Durant. You are the winner, and that's what made this kind of the biggest and craziest trade deadline. I would say number two, my Los Angeles Lakers with the whole new revamped roster, and number three, I want to say the Mavs, but I can't even say that with confidence. I'm going to say the Milwaukee Bucks getting Jay Crowder. I think they're a big winner of this trade deadline. And then for the losers, number one, I'm going with the Clippers because none of their choices make sense to me. Number two, I'm getting the Warriors because I don't know how their appeal for what they're going to do. They might get some draft capital back, so they literally let go of Wiseman's contract and got a player and get to keep their draft picks if this goes down. So I'll put them at number two for now. They may be number one loser, but for now I'll put them at number two. And number three, I would say the Chicago Bulls because they didn't do anything.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I'd say the Suns were definitely the biggest winners because also when you talk the trade deadline, a lot of people get moved around, a lot of people get bought out. Terrence Ross got bought out from the Magic and he's going to the Suns. So now you lose Jay Crowder, but you get a guy in Terrence Ross that could pretty much do similar things. He's not as physical, but he can shoot. He'll guard some people if you have to. And you got Kevin Durant. You gave up a big piece in Mikal Bridges, but I think getting a top 5 player of all time definitely helps the sting.
Yeah, I won't say top 5 of all time. I'll say top 25 of all time. Kevin Durant.
Well, let me rephrase: top 5 scorer. I say top 5 scorer of all time. Player, yeah, that's debatable, but top 5 scorer of all time. Speaking of the Gary Payton Jr. trade, I don't know if that trade went through officially because Gary Payton Jr. failed the physical.
Yeah.
So I think that trade is in limbo. So I don't even know what's the progress on that trade. I agree with Romeo. The Raptors should have blown it up. They didn't trade anybody, and that's gonna hurt them because I don't think. I mean, they're either gonna blow it up in the offseason or I feel like they could have got OG. I don't know if OG Anunoby's a free agent after the season, but they got teams offering 3 first-round picks for the fucking guy. Like, I would have just took the 3 first-round picks for him and kept the rest of my team. Like, it's like OG is not that important to the Raptors. I don't think. Like, they could have fleeced somebody. Like the Knicks.
They got Jakob Poeltl in this, so I can't even say they're a real big loser. They want to. It seems like they still want to make a play-in push. And with the moves from the Nets, I am sorry, I could see the Nets taking a big slide down the ranking. So I think that the Raptors made the right move in staying pat and not loading off, Siakam, OG Anunoby. I should note that Woj did put out the tweet, I believe, last night, saying that the Golden State Warriors have until 9:30 p.m. Eastern on Sunday to make a decision on Gary Payton's the second physical and the fate of a 14 trade with the Blazers, Hawks, and Pistons. Franchise may indeed push into tomorrow to evaluate Payton's abdominal injury and make a choice.
Okay, so we'll see. We have about 7 hours roughly to see if this trade is going to be finalized.
Yeah. They said they're working to resolve the trade as well today. He tweeted that about 40 minutes ago, so a little bit before we went live here. We got Real Take Sports in the chat saying, just dropping in to say my Cavs are reaching the conference finals this year. The post-LeBron era 2.0 is about to be lit. You better hope that Milwaukee and Boston somehow negate each other because it seems like this is foregone conclusion. Those are going to be the 2 teams in the conference finals.
Yeah, and I wouldn't sleep on the Sixers just yet.
I sleep on any team that has James Harden and Doc Rivers as coach in the playoffs. Yeah, 2 choke artists in the playoffs. I'm good.
That's the only reason why I didn't say that with full confidence.
I know you said that with the shaky voice and everything. We got Romeo who says Bulls should have taken whatever from the Knicks for Levine to let that contract be their problem. No, absolutely, they should have traded it to the Lakers. For Russ Westbrook and our 2 first-round picks. And then, you just buy out Westbrook, you get rid of Levine. I think the issue with Levine on the Bulls is that he thinks he's the number one. He thinks it's his team when it's DeRozan's team now.
Yeah, but why I wouldn't do that trade for Levine. First of all, you got to take that contract. Still has another 2 or 3 years on it. I think not only the contract, you got to worry about his health problems. And they were also going to give up RJ Barrett, Obi Toppin, and 3 first-round picks. Like that's a lot for Zach
That's a
LaVine.
load. That's a
I'm not giving
load.
up. I'm more concerned about the draft picks, honestly, because like RJ, honestly, I don't see RJ being a Knick past this season, and OB is a good trade piece to have. So, and he's fallen out of the rotation, so I could see them packaged in the off season for somebody. That guy should not be Zach LaVine, though. Let me just make
Yeah.
that clear. I like Zach LaVine, but I'm not taking any more almost 30-year-old guys with knee problems. I'm good. Last time we did
Yeah.
that, he played fucking 100 games in 5 seasons, and we gave him $100 million. I love you, Amari, but yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem like these good point guards even play very well with Zach LaVine. And when you have Brunson having a career year, I don't think that would have been the best thing for the Knicks and his development as the star player for the Knicks. We got Romeo also saying OG under contract next year and has played a player option for a year after. So.
Well, he'll probably, but that's going to be declined because he's going to make a lot more money on the open market as a free agent. So I'd say next year is his last year.
There you go. We also got Real Take Sports saying I in a coma on the Sixers.
Sleeping on him.
I mean, it's all right to sleep on them. I think they're just a regular season team. They have to prove something in the playoffs. For me, the Sixers and the Grizzlies are kind of in the same boat in that I think they're having good seasons, but I'm waiting to see what they do in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, 76ers just kind of have that stigma around them because they got James Harden and Doc. So it's going to be interesting. If I had to pick a team, I'm still going with the Bucks or the Celtics.
Yeah, I'm kidding. I've kept that same energy, the same Eastern Conference Finals that we had at the preseason picks. I've kept it in the midseason picks, and nothing that happened during the trade deadline is changing my mind. In the West, a lot of things have changed in the West more than in the East. I think the East is still a Celtics and Bucks until further notice. That's the two favorites to make it to the conference finals. We also got in the chat Tru Heel Heat Sports saying if anybody wants to participate and try and win some money, Super Bowl prop bet challenge, you can hit that link that's in the chat. So join, and of course you could join us live at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time for our special Super Bowl watch along. Tru Heel Heat Sports number 120 Rihanna halftime show. You got the Chiefs versus the Eagles. Who you got in the Super Bowl today, Chris?
I got the MVP, Patty Mahomes, and the Chiefs bringing number 2. Ring number 2.
I got 34-31 Chiefs.
We have 8-8 in a $500 Super Bowl box, so I'm gonna say 38-28.
There you go. That's the secret picks there. I think we're gonna make this a shorter one because I know me and Chris G, as you saw in the midway point of this, have to go on daddy duty and get to our kids. But Chris G, let the people know where they can follow you on social media, and we'll be back on Friday, right, with episode 3.
Yeah, we'll be back this Friday.
Episode 3. So we'll talk more about that and we'll revisit our midseason picks as well. And then for episode 3, we are going to do our all-star draft. So it's going to be me versus Chris G, and you in the chat will vote on who has the better team. We'll be picking from the all-stars who was chosen by the fans, who was chosen by the coaches, the reserves and the starters. We'll pick our starting 5. We'll pick our reserves, team SP3 versus team Chris G, with you as the judges of who has the better team, coming up on Friday. But until then, Chris G, let the people know where they can follow you.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Tru Heel Chris G. Of course, on the Tru Heel Heat Wrestling channel every Tuesday, NX3. On the twitch.tv/Tru Heel Heat Gaming every Thursday, Blunt Impact. And then Thursdays and Fridays, most likely you can catch me gaming as well. We got some retro gaming on Thursdays I'm trying to put up. And then we got Friday Night Fuckery, where you can see me and House Hufflepuff smoking and making potions.
Smoking and making potions. That's going to be the tagline. That's Romeo, you got to put the tagline on the thumbnail of smoking and making potions. Chris G in Hogwarts.
In Hogwarts. Hell yeah. Chris G in Hogwarts. Smoking and making potions.
I love it. I love it. That's so much fun. You can check me out at Tru Heel SP3. Follow, that's where you can see all my content on everywhere else. I talk also NBA basketball over on Fightful Overbook on FMC. This week's FMC on Fightful Overbook will be on Wednesday, not Tuesday, as I'm going to be busy on Tuesday, but I'll be back there on Wednesday. Also follow the game. The best way to support us, patreon.com/Tru Heel Heat. And of course, if you want a t-shirt, prowrestlingtees.com/Tru Heels. Also check out on the main channel, Tru Heel Heat Wrestling YouTube channel, Tru Heel Heat 212 from yesterday with myself. Top Guy JJ made a run in. Miss Chrissy Love was there at the end, and we had special guest Mex of the Wrestle Things podcast, talking all things wrestling, including the great Cody and Paul Heyman promo, who's the hottest babyface in WWE between Cody Rhodes and Sami Zayn, MJF's Roadhead promo, and much, much more we talked about. And earlier today, you had Serving Face and Heels number 20 with Miss Chrissy Love and Stephanie Hypes talking all things women's wrestling, Toxic Attraction breakup, Ronda's return, Becky and Lita teaming up against Damage Control. So check out all of that on the Tru Heel Heat Wrestling YouTube channel. But me and Chris G will be back with you on Friday live right here. Keep it locked on Tru Heel Heat at Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for all updates on times and when we go live. But remember to hit the thumbs up on this video, share it with your friends, subscribe if you are new, and hit the bell to stay notified so you always get alerted whenever we go live here. And thank you, Romeo, saying y'all the real MVPs. Parenting and podcasting. That's the next show that we're gonna do.
That's the next one we're gonna make. We're gonna go into the parenting world.
For Chris G, it is me, your Tru Heel Phenom, SP3. This has been Tru Heel Heat Check number 2. We are signing off until next time.